Once again, we are doing cooperative nail care with my Nova Scotia duck-clawing retriever. My name is Sarah McLeodry, and I'm from Synergy Behavior Solutions. And as you can see, Lindy loves to do her nail board. One of her favorite things in the world. There we go. Good job. So she's already been trained to do this. I still reward it to make sure I keep up a good behavior. I want to make sure that she rotates legs, that we don't stay with just one leg. Good job. And one of the things you need to make sure of when you're doing the nail board is that the dogs can still quick themselves with the nail board. So you don't want to go too much. You definitely have to check on how much the nail is coming off. All right, we're going to do one last one there. I'm going to reward her and put her nail board away. And this is exactly how we do nails whenever I do nails with Lindy. We start with the nail board and then we switch to clippers. I'm going to have her lay down for a second while I speak. Show up. Good. So my favorite clippers are the Miller Forge red-handled clippers. Let's see if you can see them. They're small. They look tiny. The reason why we love them is that they are super sharp. There is a right and wrong way to use these nail clippers. You always want to have the nail guard towards your dog. I don't use it as a guard, but that is a way that I know that it's working the right direction. So I'm going to go on the ground because that's how I do nails with Lindy. I always like her to be nice and relaxed. All right, and she knows that this jar, I call this my Zen bowl, and that the treats will come from the Zen bowl. I'm going to scooch a little closer, hopefully so you can see better. All right, so I always want her to offer her paw, as you can see. She does that right away. Good, and I just usually check to make sure if there's a place I need to cut more than others. And my goal is to cut a little teeny sliver at a time. And she's decided she doesn't want that foot cut again. She wants the other paw cut again, which is great. And I don't care which paw I cut. I know I'll make sure to get all of the nails eventually. And I will say this took a long time to get to this point. I worked very hard on this. When we were first initially training this, I used to do her nails every single day. Shouldn't say nails. I should say I did at least a nail every single day. Good job. And notice right now, I'm not being what I call greedy. I'm making sure that for every clip that I do, that she gets a reward. And I'm fine with that. I probably could get to the point where I don't need to reward every single clip, but for right now, that's fine. I'd rather give her an extra treat and make sure this process is super comfortable for her than screw it up. Because I will say that the one time you mess up a nail trim, you can really cause damage pretty fast. And notice how she's keeping her paw on my hand right now. So I'm able to get multiple clips in without having to pick up her paw again. She could take her paw away. If you notice, I'm not restraining her paw. I'm just holding it in my hand. And she decided that was enough with that paw. Well, maybe she wants that paw some more. Great. When we're clipping nails with the Miller Forge red clippers, we want to make sure that we're not going and taking huge chunks at a time off. We're looking for little nail slivers, little teeny bits of nail. We call them sometimes nail confetti. So that time, I actually missed the nail when I cut. But I still rewarded her because she still did her part, which was hanging there with me. If you notice, Lindy's getting a little foamy. That's how she is always when she trains. It has nothing to do with the fact that we are doing nails. She just gets a little frothy. Good job. You are being a rock star. Nice job. And I'm not going to do her back nails right now. Lindy has a neurological condition that sometimes makes her back feet a little bit more challenging. And since we don't normally do our nails in this room, also with me talking live online, I don't think it's fair to her to try to do those back nails at this time. Good girl. Which one you want? All right. And I practice holding her foot in a different way depending on the nail. Sometimes you just need a little bit different access to the different parts of the nail. I am lucky Lindy has light colored nails, but that's not a big deal when you're doing this method of just taking little slivers of the nail off at a time. You're less likely to catch the quick. If you do big chunks, that's when I notice that people catch the quick with their nails. So sometimes I like to just take a little break. I want to make sure she still wants to be part of this crazy training game that we're doing. We're going to give her a break off screen. We'll see if she wants to come back and what she wants to do. She wants to do more training, so I'm going to, there we go. So she says, I am ready to do more nails. We're going to just do a couple more clips, and then I'm going to come back up to the computer to answer some questions. It looks like there's some comments happening. As you can see with Lindy's slobberiness, it gets a little tricky hanging on to those clippers and the treats. People always ask me, what do I do first when I start training nails? Actually, the first thing I do is work on this skill of making sure that I can have treats readily available without my dog dive bombing them, because it just gives me easier access to get those treats. The other thing is people always ask me, well, what treats do you use when you cut her nails? Because I've worked so hard on this with Lindy, I'm actually just using her dinner right now. And like I said, we used to do nails every single day. Every single morning, she did her nails for her breakfast. And that's how we've gotten this relaxed, comfortable dog with having her nails clipped. All right, I'm going to give her a break and let her go take a break off screen for a second, and then I'm going to let her go in her crate to finish up her dinner, which is a little early. I know it's lunchtime. Good job. And then I'm going to come up to the computer and go ahead and answer some questions. So hold on, there'll be a little bit of changing here. All right, let's see if we can answer some questions. All right, any questions that anybody has? I love Ellen. Thank you for the enthusiasm of a toddler. That's always how Lindy is, those of you who know her. She likes to get frothy and excited when doing her training. One of my friends always asks, she feels that she gets shamed for her nails with her dogs. And I always say there's no nail shaming from me because, like I said, I own 2 other dogs who don't love having their nails trimmed. And then people ask, well, how do you deal with that? And so there's a couple different ways. I am still working on training with those dogs. One is 10 years old and one is 7.5. The 7.5-year-old's actually harder because he's fluffy and it's much more challenging to get to his nails. And he has both dogs actually have general body handling issues. So with both of them, I still do the nail board. And then what I'll do is use the clippers at just little bits at a time to kind of round off what has happened with the nail board. Because sometimes with your nail board, you can end up with very sharp nails. So you have to be careful of that. So that's what I do with Bueller and Rizzo. I also, at the recommendation of my boss, who is also my dog's doctor, Dr. Vale Parthasarathi, is I will use anti-anxietal medications when I'm doing their nail trims to help reduce their anxiety with that situation so we can set ourselves up for success. Those are prescription medications. And like I said, both of my dogs are patients of Dr. Parthasarathi at Synergy Behavior Solutions. So I can use that to help the situation go further faster. And like I said, with Lindy, as soon as she came into my house, I really made sure that this was a focus of mine. I did not want yet another dog to have nail issues. So even us professionals can have problems with our dog's nail trims. So it doesn't look like we have any other questions. If you do, feel free to add the questions to the comments to the live video feed, and I will gladly answer them later. I hope you have a great day, and I hope you learned something from today's Trainer Tidbits with Synergy Behavior Solutions. Have a great day.